This lesson we're going to be solving equations with a variable on each side. Don't worry about these, they're not that much harder than what we did yesterday. It's just one more step. We've just been adding one more step every single lesson. Okay, we're just going to add one more today. So for the warm-up, go ahead and try these two multi-step equations. I'll let you pause the video here. And now that you've done both of those, I'm just going to go over the work. What we do first is add 8 on each side. So I get negative 6m equals 32. Then I would divide each side by negative 6. And I would get m equals, and you can write this as one of two ways. I'm going to write it as negative 16 thirds. If you got a decimal, it's negative 5.3 repeating. Over here, remember this is just the pizza concept. What would I do first? If I plugged in a number, I would multiply by 5, and then I would subtract it from 7. So obviously the first thing I need to get rid of is the last thing I did, which is the 7, so I'm going to subtract 7 from each side. So I get 38 equals, and don't forget this minus sign, it's in front of the 5n, so it's still going to be here. And then I'm going to divide each side by negative 5. And you could leave this as negative 38 fifths, but if you wanted to get a decimal, it would be negative 7.6 equals n. Hopefully both of these were pretty easy reviews for you. And today we're going to be solving equations with variables on each side. And when you solve an equation with variables on each side, you want to get the variable terms on one side. So the first thing you need to do, get the variables, or get the variable on the same side. This is rule number 1. You can put stars around it. I don't care. You can underline it. You can put wavy lines all around it. Okay, show how important it is. This is the first thing you do when you have variables on both sides. We got to get the variables on the same side. So looking at what that would look like, I've got this equation, 2 plus 5k equals 3k minus 6. We need to get the variables on the same side. And it doesn't matter. You can subtract 5k from each side, or you can subtract 3k from each side. I don't care which way you do it to get the variables on the same side, you'll get the same answer eventually. I'm going to do it by just subtracting 3k from each side. So I get 2 plus 2k equals negative 6, because the 3k's cancel out. And now notice, as soon as we've gotten the variables on the same side, this is turned into a problem like we did yesterday. Okay, and to solve it, I would subtract 2 from each side. I get 2k equals negative 8. Divide each side by 2. 2's cancel out. And I get k equals negative 4. So once you get the variables together, they will turn into a problem just like we did in the previous lesson. You can always check your work by plugging it back into the original equation. 2 plus 5 times negative 4 equals 3 times negative 4 minus 6. 2 positive 5 times negative 4 gives me negative 20 equals 3 times negative 4 gives me negative 12 minus 6. 2 minus 20 is negative 18. Negative 12 minus 20, negative 12 minus 6, excuse me, is negative 18, and that's the correct answer. Again, just get your variables on the same side. Once you do that, it's a problem like in the previous lesson.